Welcome to Creepypasta Theater, a show where we explore the strange world of creepypasta. Join us as we hear tales best left untold, travel roads best left unexplored, and see sights best left unseen. Today's story: The Midnight Library. Author unknown. This story can be found on creepypasta.wikia.com and is protected by a Creative Commons license. Founded by an ancient tribe at the dawn of written language, the Midnight Library is the gathering place for all human knowledge. Every historical event, every spell and curse, every book, and all scientific fact is gathered here. If knowledge is power, then a person who comes across this library may well be considered to be all-powerful. In ancient times, whenever a member of the tribe died, their spirit wrote down and hid all of the knowledge they had gained in their life. I have not been permitted to share its original location, but I may tell you that it originated in the vastest desert on Earth, yet remained hidden from the harsh sun. Even today, this spot is considered sacred. Only select living members of the tribe were ever permitted to know the location, let alone have direct access to this expansive collection. For centuries, this civilization thrived until calamity struck. It is not known what brought about their doom, but it is known that there was only one survivor. This young boy wandered throughout his entire life, traveling as far as he possibly could. He learned from every tribe that he came across and wrote down all the knowledge shared with him. When his life ended, his spirit added all that he learned to the collection his tribe had started. Though he was dead, his work had to continue. There was so much yet to learn. So before he died, he took a young child under his wing, and this child would be tasked with continuing her mentor's work. She too would travel the world and collect knowledge. The title they bore has no perfect translation into English, but I feel the most accurate one is librarian. For countless generations, a new librarian would be chosen to travel the world and record all the knowledge they came across before storing it at the library. For centuries, scholars would come to study at this library, each one contributing in some way to the shared knowledge of humankind. You would have heard the names of many visitors that sought out this sacred place. Great sorcerers like Merlin and Morgan Le Fay learned many of the spells that brought them fame at this library. Great kings like Alexander the Great, Augustus Caesar, and King Arthur himself studied the art of conquest and ruling at this library. Even masters of the arts like William Shakespeare and Beethoven are believed to have made use of the knowledge of the library. Though soon enough, people came seeking this great knowledge for the sole purpose of destroying enemies and harming others. This led to a century-long war between Britain and France. Fearing the further catastrophe that would come with this continued abuse of knowledge, the librarian hid the library away. Now it lives in a land of perpetual night, existing between the realms of the living and the dead. This land has been called many things, purgatory being the most popular. though the more accurate translation is Land of Midnight. This is why it has been dubbed the Midnight Library. Centuries passed, and new librarians were made, and the library's collection continued to grow. I am the apprentice to the most recent librarian. My name is Claudius, and my master and I believe that all people deserve the chance to prove their worth and be granted access to the Midnight Library. I will explain to you the steps to enter the realm between life and death. Once there, you will face trials to test your worthiness. My master has declined to share with me the precise nature of each trial, but with the information I have, I can at least give you this gift of knowledge. 1. Your first trial is the most simple in theory, but also the most difficult. To complete it, you will need 1 candle, something to light the candle with, and proof of your contribution to human knowledge. This can be something as complex as your PhD thesis, a song you've written, or even just a short fable. A physical copy will work best, but digital can be fine too. If you have no other option, you can do it orally, but I would not recommend it. After all, a slip of the tongue or emphasis on the wrong word, and the entire meaning changes. Your best option is to bring something you worked on by yourself, just to prove your sheer dedication to knowledge and learning. But if you collaborated on something with a partner, make sure you make that clear. The offering can be in any language you want, just as long as it is one that someone actually speaks. I cannot guarantee the ritual will work if your offering is in a language like Klingon, Dothraki, or Elvish. There aren't many rules you need to know for this, or really any of the trials. Just don't anger the librarian, and you'll come out mostly unscathed. However, trying to cheat by attempting to pass off the works of others as your own is the most surefire way to make the librarian incredibly angry. If you anger the librarian, you will not like the result. Remember, the librarian is the keeper of all human knowledge. They know billions of deadly curses. They have invented spells to keep you from ever dying, despite how desperately you may wish for death. Unless you view being an eyeless, earless, mouthless wraith, existing only as a shell of your former self, as a positive thing, I wouldn't test your luck by cheating. This trial can be done at any time of day, but night tends to work best. Find some place quiet where you are unlikely to be disturbed by anybody. Your home would obviously be ideal, but the precise location does not matter all that much. Once you've reached your chosen location, at the time and are ready to begin, light your candle and offer your proof of knowledge. The best way to do this is via burning. That's why I suggested having a physical copy. Otherwise, you can just delete a copy with the intention of offering that copy to the Midnight Library. But you need to wish for that outcome very strongly. If your will is insufficient, the trial will end, and you will need to begin anew with a separate piece of knowledge. If you intend to do it orally, before you start your presentation, state your intention of offering it to the Midnight Library. Like with the digital copy, you must concentrate on your intent, but also on your words. It's an easy process to mess up. Keep that in mind before you decide to start. 2. After you've done all that, the librarian will judge your offering and decide if your worth their time. When you fall asleep at night, you will either wake up as normal or standing just outside the Midnight Library. If you wake up in your bed, then the librarian didn't find you worthy. It could be for numerous reasons, so don't take it personally. Feel free to try again some other time. However, if you do see the Midnight Library, then the real trials begin. 3. The librarian will begin to ask you questions. Very personal questions. You will need to answer them as honestly as you can. You can refuse to answer any, but you will be barred from the library forever. The questions can range from things like, what was your greatest accomplishment and what do you fear the most? To even harder ones like, who have you hurt the most? Your exact answers don't matter as long as you answer each question truthfully, then no harm will come to you. But if the librarian detects any sort of deceit, they will be incredibly angry. I don't need to reiterate why that's a bad thing. 4. If you manage to answer all questions to the librarian's satisfaction, you will be given one last trial. I haven't been told much about it, but what I know is it will involve your offering. Perhaps you'll be questioned about your discovery or maybe the moral or themes of your story. It could really be any number of things. Once the librarian has been satisfied, you will be allowed to access the library. All of human knowledge will now be at your fingertips. 5. I have just one final word of warning. There is some knowledge you're better off not knowing. Sometimes knowledge brings only pain. My lover, she found the answers to questions she'd been searching for her entire life. Soon after, she regretted ever seeking out this unfortunate truth. I saw the love of my life slowly waste away, and there was nothing myself or my master could do to help her. If you seek answers, you will find them at the library. But like my lover, the knowledge you gained could haunt you until your death. I beg you, think of your loved ones too. Be aware of what watching you waste away could do to them. And with that said, I wish you good luck, seekers of knowledge. You have been listening to a presentation of Point of Insanity Game Studio. Visit us on the web at poigamestudio.com. Follow us on Twitter at poigamestudio. Look us up on Facebook and email us at poigamestudio@gmail.com.